Welcome back to part 2 of my tutorial on how to create our character's head in VoidWorld 2.4. And now that we got all that out of the way, we're going to jump right into the modeling style, which this time for the head of our character, we're going to be using a variety of techniques. The first one is going to be starting off with a box modeling technique, and then we're also going to throw in using tweaking of the edges and vertices combined with also some polygon modeling and just some overall tweaking. This is basically the simplest and the quickest method to go about modeling any character, and we certainly need this option available to us when working on the character head, because it's basically one of the toughest parts of the character to model. And as you can see, I'm using my daughter's artwork still, again like I did in part 1 of the tutorial, and we're going to be working on his head. So what we're going to do right now is go to the object icon up here at the top of the Visual Tools menu, the one that is all red. We're going to click on it. Actually, it's the one all the way to the right. We're going to click on it. We're going to go down here where it says box. We're going to highlight that. And my options are already set correctly, but I'm going to go ahead and mention them again for you just so you understand what we need to do here. The width segments need to be set to 6. We're going to have 6 segments of the box cut from left to right. Then the length segments, which is front to back, we're going to have 2 length segments. Then the height segments, we're going to have 6 as well. That means it'll be 6 from top to bottom as well. And once you have those options selected, go ahead and click on Create. And you'll notice it creates an option in Scene here showing a transparent box with all the options that we selected. Now, to make this non-transparent so that we can actually edit it and move it and stuff, we're going to go ahead and click back on the box to unhighlight it on the menu over here. And we're already in the move modifier, which is what we needed to be in. Again, those are the keys that I mentioned to you about in the last part: the W key for move, the E key for rotation, and the R key for scaling of our object. Now, since we're already in the move part of the manipulator tool, we're going to go ahead and highlight the up arrow, which is the green arrow pointing up in our model scene. Once again, we're in the front orthographic viewport, and when the arrow turns yellow, we're going to go ahead and click and drag our model up just approximately where it gets close to the head, such as this. And then switching using the keys that I just mentioned to you for the manipulators, we're going to go ahead and hit the R key, which puts us in the scaling mode, and then we're going to highlight the center of the scaling little widget here, and all of the balls and the lines should turn yellow, letting you know that you're scaling in all directions. So go ahead and click and drag down into the left, and you will actually be scaling the object down, which is what we're looking for. And we want it to be close to the size of our head for our object, but not the exact size. About like that. Once you get something like this, to double check everything, we're going to go ahead and switch into the right orthographic viewport by clicking where it says front and then clicking right. And you'll notice that we have 2 divisions front to back, like I spoke to you about a minute ago. And now we are pretty much scaled correctly as far as up and down and front to back wise, but I do notice it's not positioned correctly. So once again, to switch back into the move manipulator, we can either use the W key, or we can click on the manipulator toolbar, which is where it says manipulation here. I have my setup set up into a tab setup, making everything easy to select. And you can currently see that, if you hover over these, it also tells you what the hotkey letters are. So currently we're on R, which is scale, the 2 arrows and the 2 little boxes. And then this one here is E for rotate. And this first one here, the double arrows shaped like a plus symbol, it's got the hotkey W, as I just mentioned. This is for move manipulator, which is what we currently want. Now, so that we don't have to keep switching back to this screen, we're going to go ahead and switch back to the visual toolbar, which just disappeared somewhere here. Here we go. Let me go ahead and get this back into our toolbar. Okay. There we go. Alright, now let's stop messing with that and get down to some modeling. Go ahead and highlight the blue arrow. Again, we're in the right orthographic viewport. Go ahead and highlight the blue arrow and drag our model to the front, just so it's kind of centered, semi, so that it's close to the chin. The bottom of the teeth actually is what we're looking for here. And we're going to go ahead and drag it down a little bit so that it's close to the chin. Once again, these pictures that I'm working from are not precise, going from the front to the side viewport. They were drew by an eight-year-old girl, which is not saying that there's anything wrong with it. I think she did a really good job on it. And I'm the one responsible for the side view anyway. She did the front view, which did an awesome job, and I just quickly made a side view for this tutorial of it. Alright, now that we have that semi-adjusted where we want, we're going to go ahead and switch back into the front and make sure it is about where we need, and it currently looks pretty good. And so what we're going to do is go down to the bottom bar here, and you see this little light blue pentagon or something. Yeah, pentagon. Click it, which makes our box come up transparent so that we can actually see the image reference plane behind the box object that we just created. This is going to be very necessary, because without being able to see that, you're just basically going to be modeling in the dark, which is not what we're looking for. Okay, now that we have that set up, we need to go ahead and scale our character around, again using the Alt key and the various mouse buttons to zoom in and out. We want to zoom in on this character's head, so we can actually see the vertices and the boxes and stuff and the character's head up close while we're moving all this stuff around. Okay, the next thing we're going to want to do is go ahead and click on the vertex option up here at the top of the visual toolbar here, and you'll notice it showed our various vertexes here. And what we're probably going to want to do is select a whole row of vertexes, and the way you do this is by selecting through, which is the middle mouse button option. And to switch, click on orthographic to go into perspective viewport, just to double check that we have 3 vertices selected, which we should, and they are all indeed red, which they are. Okay, and this is done again using the middle mouse button from the front viewport over top of our, and dragging a box around the vertex that we want to select all 3 of. Once we have that correctly selected, we're going to go ahead and highlight in between the center of our 2 arrows here, and when they both are yellow like this, then we can go ahead and start moving our points around, which is what we're looking for here. And then click somewhere else to de-highlight that. And then we're going to want to use the middle mouse button again, and this time we're going to drag it around 3 of the vertices like so. Once again, switching back into the perspective quickly just to visually check and make sure all of them are currently red, letting us know we have them highlighted, and they are. So then we're going to click back out of perspective, back into orthographic view, and again highlight the center of the arrows while we're still in move mode here, and start dragging them up toward the center again like so. And next click somewhere else to de-highlight those, And then we're going to go ahead and drag another box around these points on the outside edge like so. And then we're once again going to move this up to the side of the face and get it as approximated as we can, like so, and click somewhere else. And once you get to this point, this is a good stopping point for this portion of the video, and I'll pick up next with the next part of it, and we'll begin adjusting this a little bit more and getting it closer to what we're looking for in the character. Thanks for listening, and see you in the next part.